Okay, hi everyone. My name is Marisol. I chose to do my topic on teen pregnancy. Okay. So here are some facts over the years. According to the CDC, U.S. teen birth rates have actually been on decline since the 1990s. Um, this is believable just because 1990s we've learned so much about sex alone and new contraceptives, and also the development of new contraceptives since then. So possible reasons for a decline is teens are choosing to abstain from sex at a young age. Um, Also, the use of hormonal and non-hormonal contraceptives are also being used by adolescents. So this would include hormonal as in birth control and not hormonal as condoms. So although it is on decline since the 1990s, the US is still high in birth rates than most Western industrialized nations. It's also high in racial and ethnic backgrounds and geographic disparities. Um, Looking at low education and low income of a teen's family may also result in a high birth rate in teens. The circumstances of a teen may also play an important role. So, for instance, a young woman who's in foster care is twice as likely to become pregnant as a teen than a young woman who is not in foster care. So what are we doing wrong and why are these rates still so high? So the first one would be the lack of education in areas of poverty. Um, and not having the proper education will obviously not teach adolescents or pre-adolescents about the importance of sex and how to protect themselves. So according to Melissa Kearney and Philip Levine, both authors of Why Are Birth Rates in the US So High and Why Does It Matter, they actually tell us that young women who reach higher education and have more economic success are more inclined to preventing a teen pregnancy from occurring. I also read that these women who do reach the higher education and economic success were more inclined to having an abortion as a teen. The second one would be the lack of knowledge in contraceptives. So, although so many years have passed and we've learned so much about contraceptives, there's still a lack of knowledge there. And that goes with the lack of education, not just in poverty, but in general. Um, some teens may not be getting the proper education, whether they be in poverty or not. So Jay Tussle, the author of Teen Pregnancy in the US, wrote that the main reasons why they do not choose to use contraceptives is that their idea of becoming pregnant is small. So obviously that shows us that they don't see the importance of contraceptives and what they can do. Um, so it's the lack of knowledge right there, just about the contraceptives alone. Um, the third one, and the most important one, in my opinion, is the lack of resources. Um, Obviously, a lack of education and lack of contraceptives would be resources, but according to the Urban Childhood Institute in 2011, children raised in a two-parent household have greater resources. These resources include quality health care, early childhood education, and outside support systems. So um, obviously with the outside support systems, they would get double if they were to live in a two-parent household rather than just a one-parent household. Um, Support systems are actually a big thing, um, in my opinion, when it comes to sex and contraceptives. Um, because rather you can learn about sex and contraceptives in education, but outside support systems like family members can also teach you, and in some circumstances, family members are feel more safe about teaching their own kid, niece or nephew anything about sex alone. So how can we improve this issue? First one, starting off with community programs. This can lead to social development and responsible sexual behavior education. So for this one, I would say it's a community program, so not only can adolescents or pre-adolescents come to this, I would say parents and teachers can also be invited to this. I feel like having a community program for this would be very impactful and a lot more supportive. Um, Second one would be youth social development programs. So this would focus on the social and psychological skills that are needed to avoid high-risk behaviors that could end up leading to early sexual activity among teens. So for this program, I would say it's more for the pre-adolescents to adolescents ages. I feel like it would work better with just having them there rather than also parents and teachers, where they kind of feel a source of pressure, especially when they're at an age where they are want to be more independent. So this program would be better for them. The third one would be sex and contraceptive counseling. So being able to educate teens who do participate and do choose to participate in intercourse, the importance of protecting themselves from unwanted pregnancies or STDs. So this one is the last one, and it would just be more based on teaching the right amount of things to the teens who do participate. More on just how to properly use contraceptives, learn way more about the in-depth of sex. And I feel like at a young age, we learn about sex, but we don't really obviously grasp all of it because we're at that young age. So I feel like with this counseling program, it would really answer a lot more questions um, for teens who do want to participate in sex, and it would just bring more honesty, and that's great anywhere. So does this need to be resolved? I personally feel like it should be resolved. Becoming a teen mother is life-changing, and it's a little too harsh for an adolescent who is unable to even support themselves to be able to support another human being. With abortion laws these days, it will also prevent a young woman from having to make such a big decision for not only herself, but her child. Um, Also, not to mention the new dangers that can come from having an abortion. Teen pregnancy is caused by the lack of resources and racial and ethnic parts in the US and geographic disparities, um, which can also lead to now a child of a teen mother to also grow up with little to no resources as well. Um, So my discussion question is, how does being born to a teen mother affect a child's health and future? So to best answer this question, I would say put yourself in the shoes of having a teen mother. Maybe you do, I don't know, but put yourself in the shoes of someone who has a teen mom and think about how it would affect your future and your health. If you want, you can answer this part in two ways. I mean, totally up to you guys, but if you want to answer it is, how does being born to a teen to just a teen mother rather than a teen mother with a second parent affect a child's health and future? So how would those differentiate? Um, Let me know. And these are my references. Thank you guys for watching and listening.